all the nodes or not?
Yes.
Because the circles are different colors. But in there, for each one of them, it is actually, let's say, orange. What about the color of the circle, of the head?
Yellow.
Yellow. Is it available for all of these?
No.
No. So what is it, like the combination between them at the same or not?
They are not the same.
They are the same?
No.
Why?
I think this is in a different class. This no. It's
This
the
no?
lower-
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's in no. This, the other no.
This one?
Yeah, I think it's in a different class
In a different class than
than
this one
and this.
and this one.
Yes.
That's correct. Because in there is one more attribute that in here it doesn't show, but in order for you to actually go ahead and get that, no, that means there is something like age, the specific, let's say, what they want from that added into this attribution. Now, all of this, how can we actually go ahead and select it? Because if you actually go ahead and look at it, it is going to be a splitting creation that is called information gain. For short, it is the IG. But look at there, in there, how did we start, how did we end? In here, how did we start, how did we end? We started with, let's say,
Positives.
negatives. Negatives. In here, when we started from negative, 0, 0, where it is negative. But when we ended, it was positives on all of them. Correct? That means, but we did not go it in a direct line. We actually went a little bit, we're using the entropy, a little bit like from the negative, some of them changed into positive, from there it is extra positive, extra positive. We are actually gaining that information that we had until we reach the full positives in there. That's why we actually go ahead depending on the purity measure that is called entropy. How pure is our information? How much do we actually know that we are actually doing an educated, let's say, guess in there? In order for us to calculate the entropy, you are going to go with this particular formation. The measures that is going to measure the general disorder of a cell. How much of it is it going to? Now this is going to bring me in here because for us this is how we are going to select the information attributes that we will need to go ahead and measure. How pure is it? But at the same time, how are we going to make sure that it is actually changed in the entropy due to any amount of the new information being added? Do we keep the information that we have the same as it is all the time, or do we need to add more information into it? And that new information that we are actually adding, is it pure information or not? Is it exactly what we need or not?
It is like is the entropy of the target.
Why? Now I will come back to this later on, but look at it here. This is, let's say, what is the, if I go ahead and ask you what is the population, what is the instances that we have? Where are you going to find it?
30.
30, basically. The entire population is 30, but that 30 came from what? All of it. All the circles, all the stars. And as you can see in here, in this particular one, it is for the dots it is 16, for the stars it is 14. So is this pure or impure? Impure. Are you sure of that? Because in there what do you see? And here I know here it is on the slides, but I have it explained a little bit more in detail. I know writing it actually will just take a little bit more time, so I will just have this way much more better. What do you see here?
Since we've not probably separated it from the original data set, which is the parent, so it's impure until
It is impure.
Yes.
Exactly, it is impure. No matter what, at this point, it is impure. But in order for us to know that, we need to go ahead and make sure it is calculated correctly. And for that, we have dependent and independent. Which one is dependent? Which one is independent for us? The balance is the variable that is independent, while the dependent variables and possible values that we have are the stars and the dots that we have. And as you can see, they actually go in two sections. One, if the balance is actually less than 50. One, if the balance is actually greater, equal to 50. So basically, we are covering all our bases in here. If it was, and here, let's do it this way. If it was, the balance is less than 50, so we got everything that is on the stars, everything that is on the dots, but with the stars we only got one, correct? So basically think about it this way, like have it like this, not all
Not
of it,
everything.
only a section of it. From there, if we are going to calculate it, this is how we go ahead and calculate it. Calculate the entropy of the parent, that is the E equal to minus P dot log 2 P dot, and that is minus P star log 2 P star. From there, of course, you do the calculations, which is minus 60 divided by 30. Where did I get this minus 60, 30?
For dots. Total dots.
Total, that's how much I do actually have, not this particular dots, because
Okay.
most people go that we need to use that one. We use the one that we have actually all of it. 30, where did that 30 come from?
Total.
The total. Where is the minus coming from?
It's information.
It is information. Most people, because it is information, they forget to go ahead and add it. They think it is already a part of that and just forget about it. Then once we are done, I will the same that is going to go for the log. We go for the point that is log 2 16 divided by 30 minus, this time we are going to go with the star, that is going to be 14 divided by 30 log 2 14 30. Once that is done, we go ahead with the log, and as you can see from here, basically when you go ahead with Excel, because usually those Excel way much more easier than doing the calculations. How many of you are good with the calculation, with the actual calculator? Excel way much more easier. Follow Excel with that. You will be able to find that you are going to get minus 0.53 multiplied by log 0.532, because it is log 2 that we are running, and this one is for the star. Once it is done, you are going to get 0.997, which is very impure group that you actually got.
So, question.
Yes.
So, do we assume this minus P1 log 2, P1 is the entropy of the target?
Yes. It should be. Because no matter what, when you are going to go with the entropy in there, I will show it in the example. It should be, yes, in there. Now, the same thing I'm going to go ahead in here. I do believe it is the second part. Yes, it's the second part. Again, I will just follow it from here. Again, parent, independent, basically the same thing, but the first instance when we got it from here, correct?
Yes.
We got what kind of information? Impure. What if I right now, I'm going to use this particular data set for the balance. Once I got the balance in there, 12 for the dots, 1 star, in here 4 dots, 13 stars.
What the balance here is.
The balance in here is what? What? 30 or 30 in here or 17 in here. Because the balance, I'm not checking this one. I'm checking depending on those. And depending on those, what do I have the balance? I already have the balance less than 50, more or equal to 50, correct? So what do I get? I get 13 and I get 17.
Yep.
Everything that I have in the inside it. That's why in here you are going to see that the balance for the P either less than or equal, which is 13 divided by 30 or 17 divided by 30, depending on which section of that I'm actually checking.
The left.
Hmm?
Left.
Left or right? Correct. Now, that's why in here you are going to see that this section in here is actually left chart or right chart. So, when you are actually getting it, again, the same calculation, the first one, if it is, the balance is less than 50K, it is 0.402, while if it is, the balance is greater than or equal, it is 0.79. When you go ahead with the Excel, basically, this is what it is going to go ahead and give you for the, let's say, for the equation. Now, it's not done yet because you see, I got left chart and right chart, right? Now, we have done the calculations. We have done the calculations in here, but that's not enough because I need to get the information gain that I'm going to have. I need to check it. So, I will have the intercom for the parent minus the balance for less than 50 multiplied by E for the balance or the intercom for the balance that is less than 50K plus the same that I have done for the P and the E. I will repeat it, but for greater than or equal to 50, once that is done, I will get 0.37, which is impure or pure. Pure. Why?
Because with first of all, the 0.997 is the parent.
Let's come back here. Very much more bigger. There.
Yeah, so the 0.997 is for the entire population, and after we've separated it from the left and the right side, then the final answer is the pure data.
Okay.
Because most of the entities belong to the same group.
The same
almost same group. Yeah.
Almost the same.
Yes.
Almost the same. Like when you go ahead, if you get the rations, if it is 16 and 14 rations to each other, they are nearly equal to each other, right? Like one less, one more, but that is where the impurity is actually coming from. In here, it is like a star, 1 star, depending on the whole 12. So we can just go ahead and like the example when most is actually pink, 1 green. In that case, no, it is mostly pink, so it is actually pure. If we go to the rations between, let's say, pink and blue, what do we say for that? If it was the rations, let's say 5 pink to 1 blue, we can say it is pure because most of the time that is actually for pink. But what if we actually got 15 blue to 5 pink? What do you think? Pure or not? Because the total balance that I have is actually 20. I make you do the calculation? We can go ahead and say that it is less, it is, let's say, only a quarter of it, so it is actually pure information that we get. Questions? No? Good? Okay, because in here, entropy multiple classes, there is like, if it is 2 classes, the maximum entropy that we can get is 1. If it was 4 classes, it is 2. If it is 8 classes, 3, 16 classes, maximum entropy that we can get is 4. This in here, usually way much more better if you want to make sure that you are checking your information, what you have done is correct or not. This is actually an entropy calculator. I will be posting it on Teams so that you can check it up, or just make sure that your calculation is correct. There we go. You will see that online calculation, how it is actually done, and the Shannon entropy, how it is going to be calculated. Just click on calculate in here and it will give you the entropy bytes that you have, or you will need in there. Other than that, if you need any similar calculators, that can also be found on this website. Now, other than this, now before we actually move forward into the attribution selection, actually let's do a little bit of an example in there. Now, it is an information gain class practice. You will be able to find it on, let's say on D2L, but do you want right now to do it together? Do you want to go ahead and I share this file with you on Teams, or no? Just download it in there or write it. You do know that you need to speak up. I cannot read minds, right?
Let's do it.
Yes, thank you. Okay, now let me find it and post. Actually, you know what? I will post this, the link first, and then I will be posting this. Let's see, it is data. There we go. Yes, fine. Okay. Information gain. Now you should have it. If you download it, if you open it, you are going to find this particular one. Good.
Is there any threshold to decide if it is pure or impure or?
This is what you got. How are you going to connect it for pure or impure? Because in here you will need to do a little bit of, let's say, a work for it. First of all, what does it say in here? There. Split based on their preference for sushi. 0 do not prefer, 1 prefer, and calculate the information group. Okay. So, what are you going to do for that? In here, it already started. 0, do not prefer. 1, if they actually prefer. So what are you going to do? Are you going to, because look at the information in there that you have. This is what you are going to be running with, right? If we change it like this. What else? Are you going to get it depending on the age? Depending on how many people actually go ahead with the apple pie, potato salad, or Midwest? What is it that you will need to look for? That's why we say it is information game.
Instruction
Hmm?
Instruction apple pie, potato, and sushi.
Depending.
The
Instruction.
is ready.
Okay. So?
Preferring apple pie, potato,
So what do I need to look for?
those
Those
three.
3, all 3 of them.
Yes.
These 3. This, and this. You think? Okay. What about the others?
I guess we look at the Midwest first to see whether they are from Midwest or not,
Mm-hmm.
and then we look at their reference by apple pie, salad, and sushi.
Mm-hmm. So, you said all 3 of those. You, Midwest by itself. What about you?
Yeah, we look at Midwest first, and
Okay.
then 3 references.
Okay, what about you?
I think he divided it into a subgroup of people that had 2 choices
2 choices. Where?
to the Midwest.
Okay, let me put it this way. How many of you would go ahead and eat sushi? 1, good. What about the others? 2, 3, okay. Others? No? Why?
It's not cooked.
Not
It's
good.
I can still
No,
do veggie.
actually yes, that's because it is the first thing that you will need to select for. Not good, in your opinion.
It's raw fish, so I don't like.
Raw fish, same thing, raw fish. You don't like.
No, actually.
Okay. Does it have anything to do? What about you?
Same with that. Yes.
You do not like. or raw fish?
Like a veggie sushi.
No, it's your opinion. Because this is actually something that you also need to keep in mind. We did not look for the age, and that's good because the age, let's say, a child that is 5 years old would love it, while a 70-year-old will actually hate it and not eat it. That's okay. But the background that they are actually coming from, most of the ones who said that yes, we would like it, let's say, I'm going to say came from place that have sushi for their main course. Okay? The others who, like you said, no raw fish, you do not like it, you came from a place that cannot eat anything if it was not cooked, or at least had a heat done to it, correct? So basically,